I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener.
Alliances are up tonight.
This is the Alliance. There are multiple ways to get your song reviewed, as we said in the excellent commercial.
XU and EU are up tonight.
Yes, I gotta update this track thingamajiggy. Yesterday we had DJ Ben. Today we EU, 2 alliances combined, and so they are. These 2 alliances are sharing detail.
And I like it.
I cannot believe how bootleg this freaking microphone is, bro. Around here. Yada yada yada. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Waiting for Sori now to come back. Alright, I think we're good to go.
All right, there. That works. Remember we went to that the Pride Parade?
Yeah. Oh, that's what you were wearing at the parade. Yeah. Yeah, you were very popular.
All right. Okay. Ouroboros. come up with something for this, though. I just don't have something right now. I need to probably get some tape.
Okay. I
do have a plan.
I think we're good now.
If I had duct tape, I could do it right now, but I don't.
I think we're good now.
All right. We're going to start that over, right?
Nope. Just gonna put that around my neck.
He's teasing him. Here, that's why this happens every night. Reza cries because Orion's poking him. Orion has this habit where he'll do this to Reza when it's time for bed, and then Reza will be like, and he'll just start screaming. So I'm sure there was some of that going on. All right, you guys. So we have these. There are 4 bands on tonight that I have never heard of any of them. Ouroboros. Wait, Vermillia, though, that's familiar, but I don't know if that's because... Isn't there a Slipknot song called Vermilion? No. Is that? I'm not sure. You guys tell me. BC is drunk, but he says middle is drunker. And then this other one, Obsequiea. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to let Vin do that. And then Disillusion is the next one. So we've got 4. 3 of them are from the Extreme Underground, and one of them is going to be from the Epic Underground. But we'll have to wait for my partner in crime. Okay, so we're all good on sound. You did Vermillia once before. Wait, we did, Kel? But we're doing it again? Is there? Is this a different one? It's a solo female blackened folk artist from Finland. Yeah, that's not the one we did. Didn't we do Vermilion? Or something like that? Oh boy. One of them was trying to escape from their room. He came out and then he saw me. He was like, oh! He went back to bed. Huh? Reza came out and then he saw me. He was like, oh! And then he went back in his room.
Oh, that situation.
Yep. Okay. No, isn't there a Slipknot song called Vermilion?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's why it was familiar to me.
All right, guys, here we go. Song numero uno.
Ouroboros, Sea to Summit. I thought there was something to read. Oh, there was a little bit. This was my pick, says Kalendros. Ouroboros was a favorite band of former EU leader and ex-EU co-founder, Drew. Drew tried to get this through many times, but never managed to. Its time has finally come.
Time has finally arrived.
Winner of the melodic death metal poll, Ouroboros is an Australian band that play a mix of death and thrash.
Ouroboros?
Yeah, Ouroboros.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder what it means.
I don't know.
Thank you, Emily. I did a little art. I enjoyed myself.
All right, here we are.
Let's go.
Sea to Summit, let's go. know, your New Year's resolution's coming up. You want to go to the gym, work out, all that shit. You don't need to do that. All you have to do is play this song and you will lose as many calories as you want.
Yeah,
This
no,
song
that's
is
so true.
hard to
I
play.
literally, to play? I literally felt like moving. Like, let's go do something.
Oh, well, I mean, it can get you moving as well, but I'm talking about as a guitarist, this song is so hard to play. You know that song that I play that's like really difficult? We had to get the little stretchy. There was a song that I made on my guitar, but it was too ambitious for what I could actually accomplish, so she had to buy me a finger exercise machine.
Yeah, it's like a little rubber thing. You put your hand in and then you stretch your fingers.
Dude, that worked. If you're a guitarist and you
They're
really,
cheap too. They're
you
only
wanna,
like $15 or something like
yeah,
that.
I just walk around with it and do those stretches and then do my drills. But that song, that's why I always want to say, like, I want to see these guys play this shit
Saber
live.
wolves.
So we're listening to Hard Rock while listening, wearing a My Little Pony shirt. It's fucking me up.
Wait, what's happening here?
What's occurring? Yeah, like it's like it's so hard. It's so hard, like, to play songs like that and maintain that pace consistently.
Oh my gosh! Do they only have one guitarist?
I mean, they have two, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they're both in a horrible situation.
Because they're both doing it at the same time.
Yeah,
Nobody
and,
gets
like,
a break.
Maintaining that tempo. Like, a lot of times when people see tempo in metal, they go to the drummer and go, "Oh my god, that drummer's crazy," which obviously, you know, they deserve it. I mean, a lot of these drummers, when they get done, I mean, they're completely soaked, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely
Let 'em
respect.
play with their shirts off.
Yeah, I definitely respect that. But as a guitarist, there's a different kind of fatigue. Almost like with drummers, like, you can almost like marshal your entire body. You know, like when you're running and you're going like this, and so you're basically asking gravity to help you. You're creating a little gravity field when you do this. But like in guitar, it's different when you're maintaining speed because it's isolated basically on one muscle group to make the shit go, and you're just using that one muscle the entire time.
Sometimes I look at one of the muscles on your arm when you're doing it. I'm like, that thing must be on fire right now.
Yeah, part of me is like, maybe something is probably wrong with me technically, but I was listening to an interview with Hetfield from Metallica, lead singer of Metallica, and he was saying, like, one of the issues that he's having, you know, with rehab or insecurity or whatever, is he doesn't know if he could play like he used to play when he was younger.
Yeah.
Because, especially like the early Metallica shit when they were doing thrash, not just, I mean, a lot of the, I mean, he was famous
Oh,
for
that's
just
right. There was thrash in
just
this.
straight downstroke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll show you, like, there's a difference between you just going straight downstroke versus the other shit. It just makes shit a lot more difficult to play. So.
Oh, I've tried.
It's just like, yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So shout out to the
That's why I always
guitarist.
did the slow stuff.
I mean, really, if you think about palm muting and the sound that palm muting makes, I think you could make a case that to some level the guitar itself. What's up, Shotzi? Gang.
What's up?
What just happened?
It was me. I moved.
Ah,
I moved.
God, I hate these wires.
It's just the
I don't
chords
know
are
why
not
you
good.
keep doing it. Hold on, guys. Stand by.
She's trying to record her God song or something.
it's gonna cancel the thing soon. We don't fix this audio.
Can't you just put it up on? Just use. It's doing that thing it did before.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully we're back. Can you hear us?
Sorry, guys.
Can you see us?
I crossed my legs and the whole thing went out.
Unbelievable. Good thing Ben Webb is in here.
I know.
I know. He probably would have made a mistake.
I gotta glue this stuff down differently or something.
All
okay.
Right. So hold on. Somebody had quoted Gojira. Let's Emily crushing the patriarchy. Kerry King was asked how he managed to get with women and eventually married looking the way he does. He simply replied, "I learned how to play guitar."
You know what? It's true. Like if you just invest in something, like that does help you. Like whatever it is that you love to do, like if you do something with passion, you know what? People are attracted to passion.
Oh, that's what it is.
What?
It's not that he's in a giant famous band.
Well,
It's
no,
just
I mean
that
he
plays
went
with
really
passion.
far with it.
Yeah. I know, I understand.
I'm sure
I'm just
the famous
saying, like,
band.
it's just because he played with passion? Is that
Yeah, but are you
why
saying
he's getting all
no?
the girls?
No, I mean obviously he gets more because he's in Metallica, but
Kerry King is in Slayer, Ya Habibi.
oh, Kerry King. Oh, I thought we were talking about the other guy. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's even still like if you have a craft, right? Don't you think that I do? If a guy played the guitar, that always raised their points in my book.
If JB was a guitarist, he would have had a shot with you.
No. No, but I'm sure if he played the guitar, he would have had a shot with somebody else.
I doubt that. Well,
No, this is why I'll tell you. Because people that invest time in learning something are not miserable people like people that don't. Like if somebody doesn't learn, some people spend time just being miserable all the fucking time. Some people spend time doing things that they don't learn something to be able to, like something that you can look back on and be like, yo, I did that. Some people don't have those things. So if you live your life without having those things that you can look back and be like, I did that. Like if you spend hours learning the guitar and you can be proud of that and stuff, that's going to change. I think that's going to change how you're going to, oh no, I touched the microphone. I can't sit this close. It's going to.
You're je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi.
Let me just move this. That was the
Okay.
issue. Don't you disagree?
I just think that you girls just decide randomly who you like and you don't like, and then you backfill reasons to justify it later. That's what I think. But Gojira, here's a Gojira comment I wanted.
Okay.
Mario Duplo, while he gradually increased his BPM double bass until he can play as fast as hell for 60 minutes. It's true. I do that too.
Yeah, you do. You do.
It's a workout, like preparation to play. Like it's if you, and the other thing too is that like if you're playing fast, but you still want the notes to come out clearly, So you still want to play with excellence so that people can hear the dissonance and things like that. It's not just about playing fast. It's about making sure that
You can't get sloppy with the speed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because and that's why, like, if you see like a lot of these speed metal bands live, they sound like absolute garbage. Mm-hmm. And it's because they're cheating basically. It's like, oh, I'm gonna they're basically tremolo. So like they downstroke on the record itself. All you're hearing is downstroking. And so it's got that really distinct, chunky, almost staccato sound. But then when they go live, because they can't play it like that, they tremolo it, and they don't even palm mute it while they're tremoloing. So it just sounds like garbage.
Can most people tell that?
I think if you're a metalhead, you could tell. I'm not gonna say the band out loud, but some of the shows that we went to, like you looked at me and you were like, "Yo."
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Heard. This is not what we heard, and that's.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So shout out to all the guitarists who never get love for all the the physicality of playing metal. It's one of the reasons I love it because it's so challenging. What did you think the song was about?
I don't know. Oh, well, I read the first one, and that was it. The sun heats up the skies as seasons change. The heat intensifies while water levels rise. Oh yeah, the beginning I thought was talking about like global warming.
Yeah,
and then
it's climate change. I think that's what the song is talking about. Too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it talks about the sun heats up the sky seasons. The sun heats up the skies as seasons change. The heat intensifies while water levels rise. We try to guess nature's way. The giver of life is taking ours away. Obviously, that's talking about the sun being the giver of life.
Oh.
And so you've got too much carbon monoxide, etc. So it creates this greenhouse effect. Mm-hmm. It's all the things that we were. No, Gojira is incredible live. Gojira is not the band I was talking about. All their shit is.
They're really good live.
All their shit is true, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so they're talking about. Well, it used to be global warming when we were growing up with global warming. Now it's climate change.
Why did they?
Well, the reason is because some of the effects of man-made climate change also create pockets of cooling.
Oh.
So like 2 winters ago, we had the coldest winter we ever had. So people were like, how is global warming real when...
So that's why they said climate change.
Right, so it's like, well, it's climate change. Yeah. And the net effect of this stuff is melting the polar ice caps, water rising, which creates a chain reaction that's not good for the environment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Recently, it's funny, I was watching Jimmy Dore, and they were talking about the COVID situation and all the misinformation that came from the government, from the CDC and Pfizer, and how Pfizer tried to keep all the information locked up for 50 years and shit, and we had to do a FOIA to get them to release the information. So now you had a guy...
And then they have the nerve to put out a commercial.
Allah Akbar. That's why I said, like, the nerve of those people.
Yeah.
But, like...
I forgot about the 50-year thing. So you made that comment about Pfizer, and I was just thinking, like, about the effects that it's had on people and all that. I forgot even about that they were trying to keep... That we wouldn't be able to look at that for 50 friggin' years because they didn't want to be held accountable at all. You know, whoever made those decisions, they probably did the calculation. They were like, I don't want to be held responsible. In 50 years, I'll be dead.
You'll be dead. You'll be KIA. Just like with the Kennedy situation.
Right. Or I'll be too old that what are they going to do? Drag me out of my wheelchair?
So dude's on Jimmy Dore's show, and Jimmy said, you know, stuff like this is going to make people doubt climate change because of the way, because they were saying, oh, the experts agree, blah, 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 blah. And then there are just things about COVID that the government was just wrong on. I'm sorry, they're just wrong. Then you got this woman, Leana Wen. Leana Wen, a lot of you guys don't know, she used to be she was a former president of Planned Parenthood. She's not a right-winger. She's not an anti-vaxxer. She was a former president of Planned Parenthood. That tells you where she's at politically. Yeah. She was just on CNN a couple days ago. She said that they were miscounting COVID deaths. They were applying non-COVID deaths as COVID deaths because, you know, the hospitals got the kickback and all this shit. That was supposedly a right-wing conspiracy theory. Leana Wen said it on fucking CNN.
They were doing that?
She said it on CNN. She said we were overcounting COVID deaths. So Jimmy's going back and forth about this, and so Jimmy goes, this type of shit makes people doubt things like climate change.
And the thing is...
And the guy goes, well, yeah, I always believed in climate change, but now I'm questioning it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, holy shit. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, but with the climate change, though, how can you not believe that? I mean, you see it with your own friggin' eyes.
Well, again...
Or maybe
there's a couple issues relative to climate change. Is it man-made or is it just a cycle of nature? That's one argument, right? So like the
what
climate,
does it matter? The climate is changing.
Because the climate always changes. But the issue is there something that human beings are doing
to push this
that
faster?
Is accelerating it in a detrimental direction? That's the entire debate, because the climate has always changed throughout history. It's never remained the same.
Yeah, okay.
And weather patterns have always fluctuated. The question is, are we contributing a deleterious contribution to the cycle? That's the question. And
how is that even a question?
Well,
what the fuck?
Okay, let me make it even more precise. Are we contributing in a significant way that's pushing the needle in the wrong direction? Like how significant
is it? Is
man-made climate change, right? So the climate change deniers would say, oh, it's like 2 to 3%. And the majority report is we've got to completely overhaul the way that we use energy and all the rest of it. It's a very, very complex.
How can we see that? How could we know that? How could we know what is how much of it is just like, hey, this would have happened regardless, and how much is based off what we're doing? I mean, why do we even need that question answered? We already know that we're doing all kinds of horrible stuff to the planet. Why don't we just work on it?
Well, that's kind of my position. You look at the Green New Deal stuff, and I'm like, come on, AOC, this shit is untenable. And honestly, I think the Green New Deal is pretty much dead at this point. Mm-hmm. Some of the shit was just ridiculous. Like the cows are farting, it's fucking, carbon monoxide. So now what we have to do is we have to stop eating Burger King, stop eating meat. There's an entire documentary about how the meat industry is destroying the planet. And so she put that in there. Of course, the Republicans had this crazy, but again, it's like, for example, in the biblical world, they were not eating meat every day.
Right.
That was
a delicacy. Exactly. Yeah.
And so what they're saying is, look, for the vast majority of the human experience, you were not having a steak every day. So you guys are but because of America, we're the ones that kind of blew up the meat and potatoes thing because of our crazy Protestant work ethic and how prosperous we've become. And so now Americans expect steak, dinner, all this shit every single day, beef every single day. But we're not doing the work we were doing. Burger King, well, that deals with the obesity epidemic. That's a different discussion. But like my point is like, that's their argument. So like, wow, it sounds stupid. Like, oh my God, the cows are farting, blah blah blah. It's like,
it does. That sounds ridiculous.
These industries do have chain reactions. I think your point is the point. Like, if you have the option of dumping all this pollution into the air, like
and into the ocean,
even if it's not gonna result in a global apocalypse, it cannot be healthy.
Exactly.
So in my view, it's like we should still be looking for alternative energy sources. We should still be working on coal fusion.
Yeah, but I think capitalism keeps us away from that, right? Like, haven't we figured out ways we've figured out ways to be able to run our society with, okay, this is what I've heard. Okay, I don't have any research. Maybe you know something. There'll be something like, okay, why are we using so much fuel in cars? Well, they have an alternative, but the guy with the patent, they bought him off so then they could still keep selling gas. Is stuff like that true? I mean, it seems like it would be true.
Well, yeah, there's all these, like Nikola Tesla had found alternative energy source like 100 years ago, but they got, because of capital. There's all these conspiracy theories.
Their theories?
I just don't believe it. I think for me, well...
What do you mean you don't believe it?
I just don't believe that happened. I don't believe that he found this crazy alternative energy source and then they stopped it so that we could stay on fossil fuels. I just don't believe that.
Does it make sense, though, that we haven't figured it out?
No, it would make more sense that somebody would kill him and take his idea and make a bunch of money off of it. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make sense to me that there would be this amazing world-changing idea and they just stifled it so that we could stay in the Stone Age.
No. The people that stifled it are... The theory is the people that stifled it are the people that sell gas.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they just kill him and take his shit?
and then go with that idea.
Then they would become trillionaires because the whole world would be dependent on it.
Well, because they don't want to kill somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these conspiracy theories, they don't make sense.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I'm saying they don't make any sense. And it's always like the people at the head of the conspiracies are always like omniscient, omnipotent people. Like, as we've seen with COVID, these people are not that intelligent. They just have a lot of money and a lot of and they're very good at pulling levers of power, like they did with social media for the last couple of years, and we all knew it, but everybody was saying that we were crazy. But we're YouTubers, like we know. But people that have no idea about nobody's suppressing your content. What are you talking about? Shadow banning is a myth. So like, so like that's what I'm saying. Like, these conspiracy theories, like, I'm always like in the middle of this stuff in the sense of like, I'm gonna react to the information. I react to information. So if the CDC comes out and says, hey, a whole chunk of the COVID information we didn't share with you guys because we didn't want you guys to get the wrong idea, I'm going to react to that and say, okay, that means I can't trust what you have to say. That means that the people that were saying we shouldn't trust your numbers, they had a point. I'm not going to say, oh, everybody's crazy. I'm not going to react to that. It's the same thing with this climate change thing, bro. Like, I don't know like the ultimate answer. What I do know is most Americans are not going to give up their shit. They're not going to give up their car. They're not going to give up their steak. They're not going to do that. You know, we've got a certain lifestyle we're accustomed to, and the fact of the matter
I'm not giving up my car. Yeah, that's true.
The fact of the matter is that this is something where the world is not gonna end in our lifetime. So the posture basically is let the people in the future figure this shit out.
Yeah, but the people in the future are our children.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But like, I'm sympathetic to both sides on the climate change discussion. You've got a 96.5 consensus, globally speaking, that man-made climate change is having a significant deleterious effect on climate patterns that are going to be bad, not only for the environment, but for human beings directly. And you've got other people that are saying, I posted this on Twitter. There was a guy, he did a 2-minute thing where he basically said X% of the man-made climate change is coming from China, another X% is coming from India, 2% is coming from the UK, 8% is coming from America, something like that. And then he said, do you think the poor guy in India is going to stop his little, riding around his bike and his paper route because he's worried about climate change? That dude's got to ride around on his bike all day to feed his family. He doesn't give a fuck about climate change, bro.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with?
Because
he's not putting a footprint.
That continent is creating a way more significant footprint than we are.
Why?
Well, there's a lot more people. I mean, India is a subcontinent, for God's sake.
Well, I guess I'm confused.
China has billions of people.
A bunch of people create climate change?
Well, I mean,
I thought it was the shit that we're doing to the environment, throwing trash in the ocean, killing off.
Well, I mean, the major thing is the carbon emissions, right?
So that's it's not
the issue. Like
okay.
Greenhouse
The carbon
gases,
emissions.
It's the emissions. It's the shit that's what they're talking about. Your carbon footprint. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I just
it's all
don't
the gases
think
that you're putting into the ether, which then creates basically a dome or a greenhouse. You've got basically this.
We're already in a dome. We are in a dome, and then it's just
Yeah. But that guy in India is not going to get off of his bike route to deal with climate change. He's got to feed his family.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Chinese. The Chinese aren't going to stop doing what they're doing. They got a plan to take over the world at 2049. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, so it's a very complex situation. It's a very, very complex situation because I know people that believe that the whole thing is just a Chinese intelligence operation to stop us from industry while they go forward with it. Like, there's a conspiracy theory that the whole thing is a Chinese intelligence operation because they're going full speed ahead. They don't give a fuck about this shit, and they've got a plan to take over the world by 2040, be the number one superpower by 2049. That's their plan, and they're not stopping anything for the sake of the planet. Meanwhile, the people in the West are saying, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to curtail our industries, yada, yada, yada. And so that's the conspiracy, is that the Chinese are going to be able to edge us off because of that. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the principle, though, is what you're talking about. It's just temperance, right? Like, I mean, do we need... But here's the other thing, though. Most of the time when you hear about the climate and people, you know, stumping for caring for the planet, they take part in things that they have a higher carbon footprint than most of us. So for example, that's why I said, like, in the song that I wrote, like, where I said, you wrote that Green New Deal flying on the jet, though. I was talking about AOC and Bernie.
Yeah.
It's like, you wrote the Green New Deal flying on a jet. The irony is crazy.
Yeah.
Now here you got this band.
Did they really do that, or you just were saying you fly in a jet and you wrote the Green New Deal?
Bernie was getting railed because he was doing his campaign in 2020 all over with a private jet. So he was getting work for that, and AOC and Bernie were like in lockstep in 2020. So that's why I said that in the song. Like, you wrote that Green New Deal flying on your jet, though. It was a private jet.
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's like, but now think about this band. What do bands do?
They travel and
they
their
tour.
Bands. Yeah.
So a band has a higher carbon footprint than anybody. So that's like the irony is always crazy. It's like, oh,
yeah.
And I'm not saying they're hypocritical. I believe that they're being genuine, but you're touring all over the world in this bus, you're flying planes, your carbon footprint's out of the fucking, you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's like, well, I'm in a band, that's what I gotta do. And Bernie was saying, well, you know, I'm a Poland, I gotta go to all these different cities. I'm an old
what am I
man.
supposed to wait
There's
in the...
always a reason.
Yeah.
Why is your reason more valid than
No, that's true.
Joe
that's
down
fact.
the street? You know
yeah,
what I'm
with
saying?
you on
And
that.
then they don't think about like what that's saying to the rest of us. It's like, oh no, we need to have the giant footprint, but the rest of you plebeians, you guys need to, you know, eat vegetables and then, you know, have a steak sandwich once a month, or like Davos guy says, you won't own anything or have any privacy, but you'll be happy. Like,
did you see that thing
where this shit is crazy to me, bro? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Again, every time I see something, I need to do some research before just stopping. Like, I look at something, I'm like, wow, that's crazy, and then I just move on. Anyway, it was restaurants there's a machine, I guess, that they put like ingredients or whatever into it, and they're making meat out of, I think, soy or something like that. Like, they're making like a steak, and it like prints itself in 3D, and then they cook that and feed that to people. Maybe it was not real.
What? Say that again?
Have you ever seen those printers that they print, like, kids can buy printers that print like a toy in 3D? You seen those?
Yeah, those 3D things.
Yes,
yeah,
but this was a meat.
Yeah, you got 3D guns, all types of shit.
Yeah, but it's creating meat.
Edible?
So, like, edible vegan meat for people. It was so disgusting looking. Watching it print.
I've never tried it, but it's got to be an abomination, whatever it is. I mean, good.
Apparently, it's not so bad, and I think that's the direction they want us to. The idea that but then I thought to myself,
people out there damn minds,
well, when you break everything down, everything's just matter. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, what do you mean everything's just matter?
I mean, like beneath everything, like if I'm eating a chicken, it's breaking down, it's protein. You know what I mean? Like if I'm eating some steak, it's protein. So if they found a way to put protein into whatever this thing is made of, then you're still kind of getting. But it's weird and it looked weird.
It's just never gonna. That shit is never gonna take off, especially in America. It's just Americans. We're not gonna do it. I just even people who are worried about climate change, we're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
We're not going to change those habits.
Right here.
It's just 3D
printed steak now being served in 30 restaurants.
Jeez.
So how do I know if that's true? Screen Rant?
Wait, hold on.
How do I know that this is true?
We'll have to look at it later. But I think it's true. I mean, you got a bunch of people saying it, but 3D steaks.
3D steak, anyone?
It's disgusting. All right, what is it's just unbelievable. Just rate the song, please.
I like this one. 9.
Here comes negative vibes. It's pretty difficult to ethically justify eating meat, which necessitates an animal dies when alternatives are there, especially stuff like lab-grown meat becomes available. Yeah.
What do you mean lab-grown meat?
Well, probably
like this?
What you were just saying, but I mean, bro.
My mind can't.
Negative. I love you, my brother, but I'm never gonna eat lab-grown meat, bro.
That's so gross sounding to me.
Hey, we've got lab-grown meat. Who's gonna do that?
I'm supposed to trust these people? Like, we've seen what people have put into the food that we've consumed and how it's had its effect, cancer causing and everything. I'm supposed to trust these people? No.
I don't
Disgusting.
know. Vegan and meat don't go in the same sentence.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is I gotta agree with the big homie Ben. By the way, congrats to Ben, DJ Ben, at his first show yesterday. It's
Shout out to Ben.
8.9 for me. I really, really, really appreciate the guitar work. Really, really appreciate the guitar work in this song.
Well, yeah.
What do you got?
I give it a 9. What did you give it?
There are people who are working on texturizing plant protein to get it to feel and taste like me. Allahu Akbar. I gave it an 8.9. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 9.
Stay where you are, dear listener. We are coming right back with more metal. This is the XU and the EU alliance together. We shall return. Then out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.
Wait, pause. I used to be a vegetarian, and all that fake meat stuff was nasty. I still did.
Yeah,
I still did it.
You were a vegetarian like 10 years ago, Yarasul.
Yeah.
So shit
Right.
is different now. Like we're
Well, I looked over there. It all looks the same.
We're at the quantum scale now.
Yeah, I looked at it. It looks the same. I was like, yo, that's the same brand. That's the same. That's the same.
Shout out to James is tired.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, guys, we shall return. Shout out to Perkinos. We shall return.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that
can
off.
also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you a
review.
positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch. Yep.
Buy merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener.
Okay.
Yes, dear listener. Yes,
Yeah, here
dear
it is.
listener. You
Here
got the
it
lyrics,
is.
right? Shout out to Kai. Kai's the MVP coming through in the clutch, getting us the lyrics. We are a lyrics-based reaction channel, dear listener. We listen to songs all over the earth. URF or ERF. The earth. And sometimes those lyrics are very hard to find because we listen to everything and anything that our patrons, our DJs select, right? So, having said that, shout out to Kai for getting us these lyrics. Can you,
I'm gonna send it to you, and then
you gonna send it to me in text? Okay.
Yep, and then I'll read the write-up.
I agree, though, negative vibes about the farming thing. I do think I would support some real stringent reforms on the inhumane treatment of those animals. I agree with that.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure Perkinos would too as well. Go ahead.
You know what's crazy too, babe? Look,
What you want?
it's not going, and it's giving me the ad. So
Just airdrop it.
okay, yeah, I forgot. Okay, what were you had just said something.
Negative was talking about like the inhumane treatment. You
Oh, no,
stuffing
yeah.
like 500 cows into a 6-foot.
Oh, it's
you know what I'm saying?
It's really horrible. I don't like any of that stuff either. Also, I heard that farmers, again, I didn't do the research, so I don't know definitively. I heard that farmers, and I did see it with farmers' fields locally, because we're in Maine, so we see fields. That the government apparently, or somebody pays them to do their field and not put the stuff out. Just leave the field.
What stuff out? What do you mean
The food.
stuff?
The food. I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that they limit the amount
What do you mean
of
the food?
produce that comes. So, like, have you ever seen farms where they do everything, they grow the stuff, and they let it rot? They just
No.
let it stay there. I've seen it multiple times
I'm
in Maine.
completely useless in that part of the conversation because I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know but I asked, I was, at the time I was like, why are they doing that? Because the financial situation that I was in, money was tight. I mean, I was going to a food pantry and everything to make sure that everybody was getting what they needed. And I was driving past this farm and I saw all of this squash that you could it was beautiful squash. And I was like, when are they going to pick those? When are they going to pick those? Are they going to put a stand out? Nope, they just let it all rot. And then I ended up, starting to talk to people about it. And they told me that that's what farmers are told. Like the government regulates how much produce is going to land to be sold. And I heard it has to do with price regulation.
So you're just going to let that food rot, basically?
Yes, because if you only need 500 squash for the amount of people that are there, and you put out 400, you can jack the price up. Because now not everybody's going to get a squash. See what I'm saying?
Shout out to the Muslims and the Jews.
What?
Negative Vibe says, I'll say getting a source for halal, that would be Islamic, and kosher meats at least guarantees the animals are treated humanely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Song numero dos, Vermilla or Vermillia from Tunen Joki. She's like a solo black metal artist. This is the official video because it's kind of hard to find her stuff in video format. So you guys know that most reaction channels, they cut the song in the minute, every 2 seconds or something. By the way, like, share, comment, subscribe to the other reaction channels. Nuclear Reactions with Blake X. Please subscribe to that channel. Like, anyway.
Hey, there's a song playing.
Yeah.
Are you hearing it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that would get us blocked or something. No. Okay. Sorry.
So like. We don't do that. We don't do that stuff. So What happens is when you do an official video and you let the song play all the way through, a lot of times the record label will send out a signal basically and block the video. So if we black out, just stay where you are. We'll be fine. Just stay where you are though, and we're gonna be right back. But here we go.
It's a solo female blackened folk artist from Finland.
From Finland, and I think this was Kai's pick, right?
And this was from 2022. Winner of Kai's X picks. So, I don't know if he picked it or if his crew picked it, because he's the leader. So it's his crew that picked it, I think.
All right, Danny Leo GT in the house. Let's do this shit.
You got the lyrics?
Yeah, I got them.
Yay!
Let's go.
Oh wait. I didn't know if he because he wrote up a lot of stuff here. I don't know if he want anything read.
Classified documents found at Mike Pence's house.
What? Oh no.
This shit is ridiculous, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry. Are we moving on?
Yeah. That shit is just hilarious.
Her music is a mix of epic Scandinavian pagan metal and sweet, raw, and melodic vocal harmonies in her native language. Wow. Vermillia is creating everything as an independent artist, from music to graphics to videos to jewelries. That's so funny. I was literally thinking of making jewelry too. To even shaman drums. Oh, okay. You remember that Textagrammaton? What do you say that thing?
What?
That
Amphitehedron?
Yeah. Oh. I was thinking printing one of those off, putting it on a piece of wood, and making a necklace out of it. It looks so cool.
Wouldn't it be better in glass?
It would, but how you gonna? I can accomplish it with paper and wood and pouring like a clear over it.
Couldn't your dad do it? I'd wear an amphitehedron. I
know cool. You. I shouldn't have said anything. That was my idea. I was gonna make one for each of us.
Printed out on a shirt too. That'd be badass.
Yeah. Anyway.
So then we would do the Hoffman interview. Like,
yeah. Okay, so we can.
You get a classified document. You get a classified document.
Oh my gosh!
It's like they both know that they both have been doing it for decades, but then it comes up. Oh my God! What's happened? What's occurring? The world is ending. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, then people
think we're dumb. We've all figured it out. That's what Kelladros is saying.
We've been seeing the same thing over and over.
You guys all been doing that shit. Get out of here with that shit.
You get a document.
Amy Lee has classified.
Read this name, babe, because I don't want to.
Tunen Joki, it's probably Yoki, but whatever.
Is from Vermilia's 2022 album Ruska. Ruska is the time of year when all the leaves and the vegetation.
Ruska.
Okay, Ruska.
Ruska.
When all the leaves and vegetation change their colors within a few weeks from green to various shades of red, yellow, orange, and brown. That phrase that he just said, Yoki, is a poetic journey where the dead have to cross the river to get to the
Tunella, the land of the dead.
In Finnish mythology, the river of Tunai separates Tunella from the world of the living.
All right, and we have the lyrics, dear listener. Let's do this shit.
That sounds nice.
Right from the jump.
Yeah.
This is it, right?
Yeah. Oh, fading sun. No.
Can you check?
No, it's this. Yeah, that.
Vermillia-tuonen joki, yli
I really enjoyed that.
That one was really, really good.
Yeah.
Is Kel, is that does anybody know if that drumming is like is digital or what?
Yeah, she was reminding me of the female version of you.
What do you mean?
Because you were doing the lyrics, you were doing the vocals, you were doing the guitar.
I do not do the vocals.
No, but you were.
I was.
No, you were. You were practicing them with me.
Oh yeah. I was like, this is how you need to do that. No.
His eye would twitch. No, it didn't.
I just.
Aww. It's going very well now.
It is. I was hearing you practice. I'm like, yo, we're almost ready for showtime.
Yeah. Yep.
Almost ready for showtime.
Yep. I like to start out my my vocals practice with the My Immortal song. So then it really, you push your vocals through it, and then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna do that one and push myself over there.
Yeah, I feel like I have memorized My Immortal now. Like
I still don't have it memorized. I just do like as I'm going with.
That's the most.
I don't even know what the words are
about band practice with Sori. Holy smokes! It's like, God, why have you afflicted me with this woman?
Why? Oh no!
What have I done?
What possible good could come from this?
I've asked many a time.
Wait, we have 3 children.
I said, what have I done to deserve? What have I done to deserve this bandmate? Okay. Luminous Night just bought and
yeah, so you could
bought and downloaded this record.
Nice,
so there you go, dear listener.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder what makes people decide to just say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Like, is it a decision where they say, you know what, I'm just doing this whole thing myself, or is it you just happen to live in a place where you can't find people to jump in with you? You know what I'm saying? So you have to do it alone.
I do feel like it would be easier to. Like, if I had the expertise to really make the shit sound like the way that I envisioned it, I do feel like there's a sense in which it would be easier, because then you don't have to worry about... Because it's very hard to, like, you have something in your head, you have a vision for it, and you have the sound. It's very weird, because you have the sound of, like, what you're trying to do, but you can't... It's not in the physical plane yet. It's still in your head, which is massive. It's such an interesting. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
That you can have a sound, you can hear a
song
in your head, but you haven't actually heard it yet. Like, the world is just crazy. Human beings are unbelievable. Okay.
Do you think everybody can do that? They're just, or do you think
what?
Make music? Make a song, like, doesn't not necessarily like not everybody's a singer, not everybody's but everybody has the capacity
to.
You
hear babies, like, they make shit up and they and it has like meter to it, to
right?
A degree. So.
And usually when kids are like between 15 months and 2, you'll see them like little tapping their feet to the beat of the music.
Yeah, well, yeah, Orion was doing that mad early.
Yeah,
bopping his head to the music. So I mean, yeah, I think
interesting.
That's because we're born to worship, right? So I think there's musicianship in probably everybody if you,
degrees.
Okay, so this river is kind of like the Finnish version of the river Styx.
Yeah,
the river Styx.
But basically. It was a woman this time. Like, hold on, let me pull up my lyrics.
What do you mean?
Where's it? Over the Black River helps that lady of Tunulia as a ferryman. The ferryman is a lady.
Yeah.
That's not usually like that. It's usually the man. It's a man that rides you in a ferry across. Like the river Styx or whatever. Like, it's all. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen it be a woman.
But look at the notes.
Oh, wait. What?
He, in the original Finnish text, the line is gender neutral. Finnish language doesn't have gender pronouns. Vananaja is another word for Tunela in the land of the dead in the underworld.
Well, that's so disappointing. Yeah, but no, they didn't say he or she. Butchered. They said lady. That's for that's the asterisk. Over there. So that's not for that. Passes over when he closes his eyes. That's where it's the gender neutral thing. The underworld lies.
Yeah,
the journey
but the whole
begins,
thing is gender neutral because there's no gendered
Over
pronouns.
the Black River helps that lady. Lady is not gender neutral.
Right.
That lady of Tunela as a ferryman. Eternal wisdom to the dead seeks until the destiny takes. See, this is even pretty when you were reading it in English.
Right.
So
that's one of the that's like meta level art to me is when the thing is the thing is still beautiful, even though it was not in the original language. But it was beautiful in the original language too.
Well, you know what I think it is? I think if you're not writing to use certain words, but you're writing to communicate certain concepts, then it can go in other languages because you just take that analogy with the other language. But if it's the words and it's based off the rhyming scheme of the words, then it's a little bit harder to be like, then it sounds disjointed because it's another language.
Well, like you look at like Job 33. But God does speak in one way and another, though man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on man. Like, it's just dreamy, ethereal type. It's just beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And if you hear it in Hebrew, it's beautiful. And you hear it in Greek, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's just, there's some things that are just, and this is one of those things because it sounds beautiful in the original language.
Yeah.
But it sounds amazing even in English.
Yeah.
It sounds so much better in her language.
Yeah.
Then the way that she sings it, but the way that she put everything together, it's just whew.
Yeah, it just makes you wish that you could understand like that language. Wow. Maybe when we see God, we'll be able to understand all languages. And then we'll hear them. It's
funny, like when, like we're listening to this UFO stuff and these beings, whatever they are it's almost 100% of the time when these things get recounted, they always say that the communication is telepathic. Right? So it's thought to thought. So like verbiage is a medium. I have an invisible idea in my head, and so I'm converting it into this thing so that you get a metaphorical picture of what the invisible thing in my head is. But if there was a way to communicate that invisible thing in my head without a mediator at all, like that's what they're saying. Like, they're trying to explain it, and it's just like pure thought to pure thought.
Yeah.
Or pure consciousness to pure consciousness. And that's one of the things to me about. I think music is the closest thing we have to that. Music is still mediated thought, but the problem or the issue is when you hear a note,
it comes from multiple streams. When
you hear a note play, or when you hear a person sing, you know what they're saying. Like that's just one of the craziest things to me about music and how crazy it is. Like there's so many amazing. Cal was talking about this. I'm constantly amazed at people who have the ability to not just compose a full song but also perform it. Immense talent that is worthy of respect regardless. There's just so much shit that we just take for granted. Like there's so many miracles like in the world.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, it's just a miracle that she's able to do this. Like she, I mean, if you were to really lay out the process of everything that had to come together to make this song, there's like a series of probably 2 million miracles that had to happen for that shit to work. The first of which would be, how do you boot up consciousness from dead matter, which is impossible, and eventually, But like, there's just so many things like that we take for granted that got us to this stage where we can hear this woman display this art, and now she's talking about ultimate
I just want to say,
issues.
when you were saying about the telepathic messages, if we could like share that knowledge, I used to think about that when I was like 12 or 13, and I used to wish that your brain was like a Polaroid camera and we could print off the picture. Here you go. But it's like a dated version of what you were saying, because you're talking about telepathically communicating with people.
Right.
But when I was 12, I was like, man, if there was only a way that we could print off a Polaroid. Because remember, Polaroid pictures were instant?
Right.
So you could print off one and be like, here.
Yeah, but that's a medium, right? That's, yeah.
But it was just funny, like, how it's dated. It's like, here's a Polaroid instead of, like, let's communicate, like, telepathically.
Yeah. And so, okay, so this is really interesting because the other thing that's fascinating to me is I have never looked at an ancient people or a tradition of ancient people where when you die, that's it. Like every major culture has formulated an afterlife. Now you could say, well, yeah, we do that because we're afraid of death. And the question is, well, why are we afraid of death though? Like that's a question. Why are you afraid of death? Like,
I think because it's unknown.
Why are you afraid of the unknown?
Because you don't know if it's going to be bad.
Well, here's the thing, though. You have a whole bunch of religions and ideologies and philosophies that land you in a worse place in the afterlife than you were in this life.
That's true.
So if you're inventing an afterlife because you're terrified
Why do that?
Why invent an afterlife? I mean, if humanity universally created an afterlife where everybody's together and everybody's happy, then that argument to me has some weight. But a lot of these ideologies have, the Greeks had Tartarus.
Yeah.
You had the Elysian Fields, and then you had Hades, and then you had Tartarus.
Maybe it's because we all know that people are shit has to be held accountable for. Like, everybody's not going to get away with everything that's been going on here. Like, when you see the atrocities on the planet, you can't say everybody's just going to, you let those kids starve, or you bomb those people, or you raped that person, or you molested that child. Like, that's supposed to just go unaccounted for. Nobody's supposed to be held accountable. So I think that there has to be some sort of justice, and maybe that's why people are like,
I agree. I think we have that judicial instinct where it's like Hitler, dying in the loving arms of his mistress. There's something disjointed about that, considering
that's how he died.
Yeah, I mean, he killed himself. He was in a bunker and he shot himself and basically died in the arms of his mistress. But supposedly,
that's not the same as just.
But like, everybody knows, like, you did all that shit to those Jewish people. Like, you hurt those beautiful people like that, and then
was he getting caught? Is that why he did that?
Yeah, it was over for him.
So it wasn't like not repentance, but it wasn't he felt bad for what he did. Like those people in the plane that they didn't make 2 notches instead of 1. Yeah, it wasn't like he felt bad for everything that he did.
No, he was just not gonna let it.
Still, killing yourself for the bad that you've done, that's not the way to deal with it. That's one of the worst ways to deal with it.
That's the last crime you committed.
Yeah.
You killed somebody. Like that, you know, pictures of like Jewish moms holding their baby while the fucking Nazis about to blow them both away. Like, that's how you get to go out on your own recognizance. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Like, you're gonna have to answer for that, my guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that people instinctively know.
You gotta answer for every single person that you did that to, dude. So, like. I understand the argument. You came up with the afterlife because you're afraid of death, but
that doesn't explain.
That doesn't explain why all these other major religions and philosophies create this horrible situation that is much worse. Like you got in Revelation, in those days men will seek death but will not find it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So like, especially in this life where you have millions of people a year who check out. So it's not this universal idea among human beings that we're all afraid of death. There are a lot of us that are not afraid of death. So, as a matter of fact, a lot of that afterlife stuff is what keeps people here when they don't want to be here. So, it kind of works the other way. So, it's a very, and then the other thing to me is like the paradox of the arrogance of the modern mind, because most people who scoff at an afterlife are physicalists. But so they'll scoff at the idea of an afterlife, but they believe that consciousness came from matter. And to me, consciousness spontaneously coming out of matter is a way bigger miracle than consciousness continuing after death. We have empirical data. We have empirical data where consciousness continues after death. I was talking to a guy in one of my atheist room. Remind me of that, because I'm going to do that. I'm starting a channel with an atheist buddy of mine.
Okay, wait. Remind you about what?
What I'm about to talk about.
I
started a channel with an atheist buddy of mine, and so we're going to be tackling. It's a debate channel because I'm having such a hard time getting actual debate partners with atheists. But like, so I'm talking. It's not my friend. It's another guy. We were talking about consciousness, and I was going after physicalism. I was like, how are you getting that after? And he goes, well, you believe. He's like, show, because he said that the brain and the mind were the same thing. I said, where's your empirical data that says the brain? There is none, obviously. But he said, well, show me where the mind continues after brain death. I said, sure. And I sent him the NDE reports. And the conclusion was, this is not.
How do they?
We don't know.
How do they know something like that? Like, how can you even tell something like that? You can tell brain activity, but how can you tell the mind is still going after?
Oh, yeah, because folks were able to talk about situations that were happening during surgery when they were supposedly unconsciousness. They were very descriptive, all types of shit. Yeah. So.
Or people when they have those near-death experiences and they die. But then they explain what was happening in the room.
Yeah. 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 So it you know, so I'm like what's going on, dude? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have to account for that. You have to account for that. So so I sent him the conclusion, and this is what the guys and this dude's he's not, you know, I could link you guys to JSTOR article. He is not a Christian. He's not on our team. This was his conclusion. Multiple lines of evidence point to the conclusion that near-death experiences are medically inexplicable and cannot be explained by known physical brain function. Many of the preceding lines of evidence would be remarkable if they were reported by a group of individuals during conscious experiences. However, NDEs are generally unconscious or clinically dead at the time of their experiences and should not have any lucid organized memory from their time of unconsciousness.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Okay? Do what you will with that. From a physicalist standpoint, we don't know where consciousness came from.
Mm-hmm.
So, at minimum, all you could say is, I don't know. If you don't know where consciousness originated, you can't say you know where consciousness goes after you leave this place. The idea that consciousness sprung from the brain is an idea. It is not a proven fact. It's the classic correlation and causation issue. The mind and the brain are correlated,
right,
but the brain does not cause the mind. So it's like the brain didn't name itself any more than the eye can see itself. So again, so look, do I think that you go to a river or something like that? No, I don't think you cross over some river. However, our religion has a river metaphor for death, right? You know, Spurgeon used to always talk about crossing the Jordan, and in his those folks in Papua New Guinea, you know, jumping the Great Boa, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. So, look, it's a metaphor for something. That world, I think, is just pure conscious experience. And so we have to use physicalized metaphors
to try to understand.
To try to understand what's going on over there. But to just summarily dismiss
yeah.
these things because it makes you want see the other side of it. When people mock not near death, but when people mock the idea of an afterlife, they say, oh, you're just afraid of dying. It's like, yeah, but the other side of it could be you're afraid of living forever because you know
right.
you're not a good person.
Yeah.
So
wow.
You also have a vested interest in there being no afterlife. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It may be that you have a very sensitive conscience and you know that you're a bad person and you know you don't deserve to go to heaven forever. And so whatever, which of course the Christian answer is none of us do.
Exactly.
But I love the song. I love the idea. I'm amazed at this woman. It's unbelievable to me that I agree with Kel, like, and I love like the digging into your history. And one of the things I love about looking at European culture, which we've been able to be blessed to do on this channel a lot, is how similar we all are. Like, they've got a river that you jump over. The Greeks have a river. The Christians have a river.
Yeah.
The Papua New Guineans have a river. It's almost like we're all operating from the same template with some variations. Mm-hmm. And I think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I know I already said this, but I had an NDE once when I fainted after giving blood. I saw all these dumb people not sprinkling me with water, but hovering over me using my oxygen. I was pissed. What do you mean they were using your oxygen?
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Whew. All right. What did you give it?
Jeez. It's, 9.9?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have given this a 10 if the vocals, the female vocals, when she did that part, if they would have been clearer. They were kind of muffled in the sound, and I wanted that clarity. Maybe she did it on purpose. Maybe she liked that kind of muffled sound to it. So for me, if the vocals would have been clear, because I really liked the sound of her voice, I liked what she was putting out. I wanted to hear it.
clear enough for you? You
Yeah.
wanted more clarity in the
Yeah,
vocals?
it kind of sounded like there was one point where it sounded like there was like 2 vocals at least, and when those were going at the same time, to me, I didn't think that I was. It just didn't sound like. It sounded kind of muffled or something. It just didn't have that I have the headphones on. I didn't feel like she was singing right in my headphone.
Okay.
It felt like she was far away.
I got
and I
you.
wanted it right close.
So
Because it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So 9.9 for me.
So more production quality.
Yeah,
in the show.
yeah. I don't have any criticism for her music at all.
Gotcha.
The only thing is I just would want it. Yeah, production. Sure.
Yeah.
Great job.
Oh, so these beings were above you and you couldn't breathe. So your consciousness was telling you that the reason you couldn't breathe was because those beings were taking your oxygen from you. Did they look human? That's so fascinating.
Did you feel weight on you?
Okay. So, all right, guys. Here we go. What did you give it? A 9.8? 9?
I give it a 9.9. What'd you give it?
9.7. 9.7,
Boom.
dear listener.
We'll be right back.
There you go. We are coming right back. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. Good night. That's such a good song.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming right back, guys. Commercial break. Bye-bye. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that
can
off.
also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you a
review.
positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of our EUXU Alliance.
Alliances are on Patreon. You can go over there. It's $1.
Starting
Then
at
you can,
$1. We got our we just sent out a bunch of shirts to our folks, right?
We did. Yep.
Shout out to all the people who got shirts for being on that alliance tier.
You've got shirts. If you're on the $15 tier and you have an advertisement, reach out to me.
Yes, sirree, Robbie.
I can read your poem. You can display your art. You can, put out a little thing about your business, whatever it is. But you get like 15 to 30 seconds.
Speaking of business, if somebody wants to help partner with promoting our baby formula company, send me an email, vinsori@gmail.com, vinsori@gmail.com. If you want to help launch the greatest baby formula company of all time. And by the way, speaking of which, no, I'm gonna save that for later. All right, guys, here we go. What's the name of this band? Scroll up. Obseque is. I'm gonna assume Obseque is the name of this band.
It's the winner.
Calendros pronounce this.
Write that phonetically.
Phonetically, por favor.
They're the
I barely
winner.
graduated high school, guys. Come on.
The winner of the recent folk metal poll. For this poll, we did something different and had people submit songs from your home or region. In this case, North America. If people submitted a song from their local area, i.e. home state if they were in the USA, they got to submit an additional song. This particular band is a melodic black metal band from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, hey,
We're close.
Boston, talk about it.
This was submitted by Prog Pro. This song is from their second album of 3, titled Area of...
Who was it submitted by?
Prog Pro.
Prog Pro. So
This
is going to be is this a prog song, Kellendross?
song is from their second album of 3, titled Area of... Is that Vernal Tombs?
Vernal Tombs, yeah. You know, like the vernal equinox.
No.
I knew this band. My college put on a metal show, and we got the original band called Autumnal Winds, which eventually became Obseque.
Oh, really?
Here we go. Black metal with some U.S. influence. U.S. influence. They're in Boston, yeah, habibi. Orphic Rites of the Mystic. Obseque. Let's do it.
Let's go.
This is not a prog song. Bless God. Tasty.
Okay.
Controller of minds in the house.
Yay! like that.
Alrighty then. Obseque. What's the name of that song again?
Rites of the Mystic.
Yeah.
Orphic Rites of the Mystic, sorry.
Orphic Rites of the Mystic. So
Yep. That was so beautiful. I love what they were doing with that.
Was that Negative Vibes?
What do you mean? Who picked it?
He said something about some technique they did on guitar.
Oh.
He said something about where did he say that? Blah 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 blah. Super unique guitars. They use a harmonizer. They use a harmonizer on the lead. What do you mean by that negative? Using a harmonizer? Is that some like extra gear you put on your guitar or something? But holy moly, that was so good.
I loved it. Okay, so when it first started out, I was like, wow, I like what they're doing with the instrumentation, but the vocal style was not like really my thing. But then as the song progressed, like it all started to fit together. And then like what they were doing with the instruments, I felt like they made it accessible to other people than just like this style, like that black metal type of. Well, I mean, is it
Holy
the
shit,
vocal style is black metal, right?
Adds a harmonic note to everything you play.
Sounds like something you'd like.
Where is hey Negative Vibes? Get me a link. I'm gonna buy that immediately. Okay, continue.
So I don't usually like black metal vocals. You guys know this, but like I said, as it progressed, like the song just became really accessible. I think to more people because they got so beautiful with their instrumentation. So
That's
then,
such a good way of putting it.
Once the instruments just started like friggin' overtaking the song in a positive way, then the lyrics the vocal style just kind of slid in there, and then everything was just fitting together until it was just, I thought it was very, very well done. I really enjoyed it. And there was parts of it that I'm like, I'd love to hear you playing that. I think you should get that pedal, babe.
I'm going to get that song. I am going to get that freaking pedal, bro.
Well, if you can't find the pedal, you know where to.
So you play a note and it'll add a perfect fifth, minor third, or whatever you said it to. Holy shit!
That's interesting. That'll add a whole new layer to the music.
Yeah, and that way, especially when I'm only coming up with. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So let's check this out. In the hour of the fading sun, old songs can be heard over the moors and the ash and the oak where the spirits heed their words. The lone hymns that were weaved and spud before the age of fern, felt on the air by the hands of those whose crying hearts still yearn.
Read it with more.
Orphic, well, you read it. Go ahead. You're feeling it.
Orphic rites of the mystic, communion with the gods. The heart is pulled in rapture. By the currents of the ocean, the fragrance of cedar passes. By lantern lit devotion. The pulse of the clamoring drum mimic the flames growing faster as the spirits of night listen and the owls surrounding answer. See, now I hear owls and my mind goes off. What the fuck, babe?
You know what I'm about to say, right?
I think so.
With that thing that we were watching?
Go ahead.
Remember the guy who was owls and UFOs?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I can't read an owl without thinking about that, but that's crazy. That's not what this guy's talking about. He's talking about literal owls making sounds. Yeah, like, no, literal as in, like, it's an animal and it's nothing else. Like, it's an owl. Are we talking about the same thing?
I don't.
So I saw this thing. Wait, what? Go ahead.
Did you see the thing that we saw, that I was watching?
Okay, the thing where...
The connection between owls and UFOs?
I did not know I didn't hear what the connection was. I just knew that owls had something to do with, like, UFO aliens, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I actually thought...
What are you saying? Like, he's talking about a literal owl here?
Yeah, I don't think he's talking about, like, an alien owl.
Yeah, the guy wasn't saying it was an alien owl. He's saying all owls have some sort of connection with these beings. He doesn't.
Yes,
he believes that they're like owls, like literal owls.
Yes.
But the owl has a connection with these beings.
Okay.
So how is that different from what this guy's saying?
Wait, you think that's what he's saying?
No, I'm just saying.
I think it's just the owl making the noise that the owl makes. Not that I don't think he's making any connection with UFOs or with any connection to spirituals or whatever. What am I missing?
The name of the song is Orphic Rites.
No, I'm saying that the owl is just an owl making the noise that an owl makes in the woods. That's all. That's what I'm saying. That's all that I think that the owl is. I don't think that the owl is connecting with some other beings or talking to anything else or whatever. I think it's just an owl in the woods making its noise.
So you think this song is a spiritual song, and then he just ends with owls as a random animal in the forest?
I think that the owls, the pulse of the clamoring drum mimic the flames growing faster as the spirits of the night listen and the owls surrounding answer. I think that the owls are just making the noise that they make. Yeah, I don't think that they're trying to... So what do you think?
I mean, Orpheus, which the religion was named after, shows up as an owl in their religion.
And he's like a god?
Yeah, Orpheus. You know the Greek god Orpheus?
I actually don't know that one.
It's called Orphic rites because Orpheus has a religion. There's like a mystic cult.
Okay.
And they basically follow Orpheus or whatever. Orpheus was kind of like an ascetic.
And the owl surrounding answer. Okay, strike that from the record.
Orpheus shows up as an owl. So, see? Nude Orpheus with owl and parrot. Like, there's something about the owl that connects in spirituality. I mean, I don't know why, but it's there. I mean, what do you want me to do?
You know what's interesting is whenever like a lot of times when they put like some bird or whatever in the woods with a camera in it, it's usually like an owl. So it's like an owls are watching.
Yeah, I mean, it may just be their eyes are so captivating that we've created all this like mythology around them. But the world, like, the more I look,
that's true. Then there's the wisdom of the owl.
The more I look at the world, like the more strange it becomes.
I know.
Like the more science you look at, the more strange the world becomes, and the more the things that people call superstition or whatever, I start to question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Just because, you know.
But that's happened for forever, right? Like, stuff was like, anytime we don't understand something, it kind of, like anytime something like kind of big is happening and we don't understand it, then we kind of tend to like make it like one of those events.
Yeah, what's interesting is in the Bible, owls are always looked upon in a negative context, 100% of the time. Owls are always a sign of judgment in the Bible.
Really?
Always.
I feel like I've never read anything about owls being judgment.
Oh yeah, Isaiah 34. The desert owl will screech. The desert owl and screech owl will possess it. The great owl and the raven will nest there. God will stretch out over Eden the measuring lines of chaos and the plumb line of destruction.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Job, I become the brother of jackals, a companion of owls. Mm-hmm. Isaiah, but desert creatures will lie there. Jackals will fill their houses. There the owls will dwell and the wild goats will leap about. That's talking about the destruction of an entire city. I will turn her into a place for owls and into swampland. Mm-hmm. And so, like, universally, when the owl is brought up, that means you've been judged.
In the Bible.
In the Bible.
That's so interesting.
So, there is some sort of weird connection spiritually. The owl represents something. Of course, I can't get into, like, my current worldview because it's going to take too much to explain in the context of the song, and no one wants to sit here for 5 hours and hear what I'm saying. But, like,
I wouldn't say no one.
All of these things represent something in the real world, not just in art, but in the actual world itself. Everything in the world is an icon of something. So, the owl is an icon of something, and our ancestors. When I say our, I'm talking about the human family. Our ancestors picked up on something relative to it. It's the same thing with the eagle. Like, there's something happening, you know what I'm saying? And once we move away from this physicalist idea of reality, I think we're going to be able to make a lot more connections.
Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah.
So, I mean, they're total jerks when it comes to Tootsie Pop. That's right. It was the...
That's right.
Yeah, that owl. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. 3. Yeah, I was always mad at that owl. Like, he's still.
How many times did you try licking it to see how many there were? Did you ever do it?
I never had the patience.
I never had the patience, but I always started.
Yeah,
but I never finished.
I'd start. I'm like,
me too.
And
I'm like, man, 54. Okay, yeah. That's it. There's a lot.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove. Like that's where like all these world leaders get together. They set, they have a bonfire. They run around naked and shit. Like there's this giant like 15-foot owl in there that they all.
What?
This shit is weird, man. It's weird. So I don't know, but
Amy, I don't know about this fateful love of Orpheus and the beautiful. I like those stories though.
Orphic. Yeah. So this guy, I don't know if the band are like in the cult of Orpheus, because it is like a minor cult. It's ascetic and it's kind of mystical. Nobody really knows, kind of mystery religion. But it seems to be like a lot about the obviously connection to nature and things like that. That's why I think like when I think about quote paganism relative to how they interface with nature, with my current worldview, you have to rethink certain things as far as like those people, in my view, had certain wisdoms and they were right. They just didn't know why they were right. I'll just say that for now.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
But it's very, very, very fascinating stuff. I am loving the world that I live in right now. There's just so many possibilities.
Yeah, I agree.
And what's happening at the scientific level and the discussions that are happening are just very, very exciting things, you know. And it's not because like, oh, it comports with religion or something like that, but it's just about experiencing reality at greater degrees in ways that our ancestors or even people 50, 60 years ago couldn't even imagine. Like when you had Newtonian physics, it was like, okay, this is the be all end all. And a lot of people's ideas and theorems were judged by whether or not it could blend with Newtonian physics. And then Einstein came in there and blew it out of the water. So now everybody's like, oh, we gotta like hold Einstein as some sort of god. Well, he was wrong.
Right.
Local realism isn't true.
Yeah.
So he's wrong.
Right.
So we need new math. You know, we need an amplituhedron because we know there's more than 4 dimensions. So like the world is so now like if we're saying this, then we have to go back and say, okay, our ancestors. It's almost like God, the gods, whatever you want to say, gave the ancestors like the answers to the test, and now we have like the teacher's workbook to explain how they got there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why to me it's like I always have to have a healthy respect for other religions and other philosophies relative to spirituality, because the biblical idea is that everybody was one at one point and then we strayed off. So that means then that if that theory is true, then at some level there has to be some degree of truth to everything what everybody's saying, unless the human family completely forgot about the original, which I don't think is true. So it's just very fascinating. Forget our ancestors. It's all about relationship with the Creator, not His creation. No, I don't think that's a biblical worldview to forget your ancestors, because scripturally speaking, when a person went to die, for example, it says, Abraham went to rest with his fathers, and so.
And it talks in the book of Revelation that at the end of all of it, that every tribe, nation, tongue, and language and people group are going to be there. So that means those differentiations are still.
Right, and then when he shows up to Moses, he says, I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yep.
He does. Yeah, we just talked about this yesterday at the Bible study. Like, this idea that you have this personal relationship with God, aside from, the community, the communion of saints, I think is an American idea, because Americans are supposedly rabidly individual, which they're not, but let's just go with it. DJ believes that he's an individualist. But he was mad at Kaepernick for kneeling for the pledge. So obviously, we have to find a way to blend honoring our ancestors, our direct ancestors, and our ancestors in humanity. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. And I mean all of our ancestors, our pagan European ancestors that we never talked to. Like, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be there somehow, because we're all interconnected with each other. So I do think it's important. Yeah, obviously you don't want to worship your ancestors. Because there are religions like Shintoism where you worship your ancestors. But I do believe we should honor them. I do believe we should learn the lessons that they learned, good and bad. And I do believe that all these groups have ancient wisdom. The reason, the differentiator in the Bible to me is that, from my view, the Bible is 100% true. There's nothing deviating from ultimate reality in the Scripture.
Right.
Whereas what I believe about other religions is that they have kernels of truth because they started with the original, but they have a bunch of deviations that you need a compass to guide you through. Sure. And so that kind of decoder ring would be the Bible. Right. For us. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. I'm with it.
Oh, I had a math professor who totally looked like an owl. All right, what do you give this song?
Boy, I really liked it. Oh my god, I'm giving everything too high of ratings tonight. I feel like, but what can be done? 9.7.
Yeah, I know.
9.8.
I feel the same way. These are not like big bands.
I know.
And I was like, it's 2023. I'm gonna be even more stringent. There's gonna be a bunch of twos this year. I don't give a fuck. But I can't.
I know. I was like, okay, tonight, like, I don't know what any of these bands are. I have no idea what they're gonna sound like. I'm probably not gonna like the majority of them. So I know it's gonna be low. That's what I was thinking. It's just gonna be a low night.
That's what I was thinking.
But then it's like bang, 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 bang.
The 9.7, Kai.
9.7 for him, 9.8 for me.
You got too many good songs in here.
All right, you guys. Epic Underground song is up next, so hang on.
We're about to come right back. Finn out.
Sori out.
Go. That was a good one. We got one more. Shout out to all the owls. See, now if people go outside and see an owl, they're going to be like, holy shit. Like, one of y'all are going to see an owl in the next 48 hours. Listen, if one of you runs into an owl in the next 48 hours, take a picture of the owl. We will send you something.
Send it. Vin and Sori at gmail.com. Now somebody's just going to... You better... Wait.
Remember, if you want to take part in promoting the newest, hottest baby formula in the world, send me an email, vinsori at gmail.com. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we shall return. We got one more song coming for you beautiful people. Vin out.
Sori out.
Go. Who. I sure what you did there. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
All right, you guys. Alliance night.
It is Alliance night.
Hold on. You can read that because I need to send you a message for later so we can remember the things to discuss.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the?
No, I've got a couple
we're
of
friends
lists.
with these people, but
Okay.
to it. This is on the Trello board.
Yep.
Thank God for Trello. Good Lord. Okay, this is song number 4 from our EU-XU alliance. Like, that's an alliance of 2 alliances. These people, they always find some way. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? They always, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. You know, it's like, how hard is it really to outsmart our systems? I barely graduated high school. I spent 3 years in Bible college. It's not very difficult to outsmart our systems in poke holes.
No. But still.
These guys, yeah.
All right.
I'm not even going to mention, like, all the ways that people have gotten over on us in this forum.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know. It's funny.
But see, the thing is, I never get mad at people because I respect it. Anytime we get out hustled, I respect it. I get mad at you. How did you miss that?
Right. Exactly.
It's not like there's two of us. You're the only one responsible. Shout out to Archero.
All right, Archero says, this is the winner of our Secret Santa poll. Usually we announce a theme for a poll, and each member submits 3 songs to be included. For this poll, each member was randomly assigned as a Secret Santa for another member. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, you're so pretty.
Ooh, thank you.
Golly. You look like Muggle.
For this poll, each member was randomly assigned as a Secret Santa for another member and picked 3 songs they knew that person would be excited to see in the poll. This was based on the music they had shared on Discord. How cute. Submitted in previous polls or had mentioned that they were a fan of. A bit of consensual music stalking. Everyone's Secret Santas were revealed only after the poll was over and the winner was chosen. But we all had fun trying to guess which songs were chosen for each of us. The winner was the German progressive death metal band Disillusion and their song The Great Unknown. Negative Vibes chose this song as a Secret Santa for Middle-earth.
Okay, here we go. Aw,
Remember
shout out
we did,
to Middle-earth.
Yeah, we did the whole Secret Santa stream. I guess this one rolled in later.
See, that's the thing about the alliance. Like people hustle us all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they'll do stuff for each other.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we'll hustle Vin and Sori, but
And they picked songs specifically for a Sori night.
oh yeah, that's right. So really, they're just hustling me. It's
No,
just,
they
you
did
know
a Vin night too. They put corn stuff on there one time. Like that was a while ago.
That
but
is
they still
true.
did. They still did. Let's not see this as it's not.
That-
Let's look at it as it is. All right, you guys. Disillusion, the Great Unknown.
Disillusion, the Great Unknown.
From Germany.
From Deutschland.
Hey,
Germany.
we know something
By the way,
from Germany.
Shout out to Sasha.
Shout out to Sasha.
Wasn't Amy on that call? He's like, who are you?
Oh man. No, I don't think she was. Was she?
I think she was on the. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't think so. I think I was
we
like-
had that strategy session. It was like
Yeah.
with the 3 that we were all called.
I don't think we were on with Sasha.
He's like, who are you?
He did. he was so annoyed.
Like, you idiot. You stupid American.
You can't just call up and say you're Vin. He probably has a lot of it.
I know.
Probably not anymore though.
No,
now
really?
you could call up and say that.
No, really? Yeah, now the tables have turned.
Drastically. People are like, what the fuck are you talking
Nobody
about?
knows what we're talking about. This is horrible.
All right,
here
you
we
guys,
go.
let's go.
Let's go. Here we go. Hold on. Let me do this.
Oh
Disillusion
my
is
word.
a band.
Look
What?
at the first line.
I'm not gonna
With the
do that.
morning sun came a sadness.
Disillusion. Here we go.
With the morning sun came a sadness. Swift and silent took lust when pride breathed and fall on their banging their fire and pride. It's brought outrage, condemnation. This came slave to fire and heart. Let loose all of feathers, restraints and poses demure. Turn your head now to the sun. Turn your head now and run over hills and mountainside to the crest of monuments rise. Begin to blend from sea.
Guys, don't be angry at me. Don't be angry at me. I'm stopping this song because I have to get the lyrics, okay?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I
they're right
have
up
to get
there,
the
right on track.
I know
Oh,
where
you
they
just
are.
have to-
I know
okay,
where they
all
are.
right, God, I'm glad you know.
You never sent them to me. So,
No, because
once
they're right
again,
there. You
once
have
again,
them.
it's Soraya's
Ridiculous.
fault, not mine.
I was
am not
thinking this
responsible.
on the part where turn your head now to the sun. I was like, I'm gonna start playing that chorus when it's time for you to wake up. Open the shade of it. Turn your head now to the sun. Ready?
All right.
Let's go. And I'm glad we don't have to edit the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I know.
I used to hate that.
Yeah, that's what you
We'd
said.
have beef. I'd be like, are you serious?
With the morning sun came a sadness. Swift and silent took lust when pride breathed and fall on their banging their fire and pride. It's brought outrage, condemnation. This came slave to fire and heart. Let loose all of feathers, restraints and poses demure. Turn your head now to the sun. Turn your head now and run over hills and mountainside to the crest of monuments rise. Begin places in the vast and the unknown I dare not ever see. How can I chase away all these fears? Of night has come the day. Keep all gates closed, lights dim in eclipse, 'cause all I want is stay. Brave new me, vanished in the morning light, with no returning. Into the night.
That's like some 90s.
Yeah.
Afraid of things that he cannot say. Staring at the firmament, from miles off regrets. The morning turns, no pages blank, all remains unsaid. What have you done to me? What lies beyond the great unknown? Cast your doubts into the wind. From glen to glen, from sea to sea, pour me under. What have you done to see what lies beyond the sparkling winds? Heavens of fire and demise. What if there were just another
That was a beautiful song.
Wow.
Beautiful song.
Unbelievable. He was doing that theatrical shit in there.
What do you mean?
That like it was like a play. Like he was talking some of it. Like
Yes.
like then he would go into the singing, and then like when he did the pull me under part, like right at the end, from glen to glen, which is a valley, from sea to sea, pull me under. What have you done? When he did the pull me under, he that was sung, and then what have you done came in sounding like a demon. What have you done?
Yeah.
You know, like just him going like all those different vocal styles in this. If he's the only lyricist, like he's the only vocalist, unbelievable. Either way, this is what an interesting set of songs.
Yeah. Yeah. I
This
know.
one was
This is
like-
it's crazy.
This one was satisfying, feeling like no, not completely satisfying, because I want more of it. So that's a really that when you create a song that makes people want more of it, that's it.
Yeah. I think the problem. I felt like this song could have been, I don't know, 2.5 minutes longer. I think there are
Okay.
other things that could have been explored in the song.
I agree, 100%.
Felt like
I
it
thought you
ended-
were gonna say shorter, and I was starting
No, I
to
felt
feel like
it- I
this
felt like it-
coldness in my
it
heart toward you.
Felt like it. What the cold?
But then I realized,
I felt
then I
like it
realized you
ended,
agreed with me. So
prematurely. Felt like it ended prematurely.
I totally did too. I really
It was an
enjoyed
amazingly beautiful song, though.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. All right, so what do you think the song is about?
I don't have a freaking clue what the song's about. I did that opening line. not the way he said it, but just like the words, with the morning sun came a sadness. Like, I don't know what it means. It hits me in the feels because that happens to me sometimes. Like, I love the sun, but in the morning is sometimes when I feel the most depressed. So like, I've never seen anyone, usually people, when they talk about sadness or whatever, like, it's with the moon or the night or the, you know what I mean? Like, I've never heard anybody do that with the morning sun came a sadness. But I don't know what we're talking about here, so maybe it's different.
He might be a nocturnophile like me. Like, I hate seeing that blue outside of that window, bro.
I know.
Like, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I love the darkness. I don't know. It's terrible. It's terrible. With the morning sun came a sadness, swift and silent, took luster and pride, bereaved and forlorn, abiding the torment bright. It sparked outrage, condemnation, disgaged flame to fire and heart. Let loose all of fetters, restraints, and poses demure. This guy, English is his second language.
Oh, really?
SubhanAllah. Yeah, they're a German band. They're
oh,
from
right.
Deutschland.
I forgot.
Turn your head now to the sun. Turn your head now and run over hills and mountainsides to the crest of monuments. Rise to the sky. From glen to glen and sea to sea, all burdens shall perish, all doubt recoil. May your feet stamp all failures into the soil.
Wow, what?
Cast all shadows far, far away. So the first half of the song, so the song is sort of like this sort of push-pull between pessimism and optimism.
Yeah.
You know, like he's got the sadness of the new day or the sunrise or whatever, but in this one it's like there's a lot of positivity here.
Yeah.
Turn your head now to the sun. Turn your eye now, become undone. Which is interesting because with the morning sun came the sadness. So it's kind of like look the
face
thing
it.
Look the
face
thing
it
in the
and bury
face.
it.
Yeah. Look the thing in the face that that's fucking with you.
Yeah.
And he says, may your feet stamp all failures into the soil.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because he says, turn your head now to the sun, turn your head now and run. But for me, I don't think he's running away from the sun. I think what he's saying is, once you've conquered that thing, once you've looked that thing in the face, then you're set free to go off. Because when he says run, it says over hills and mountainside to the crested monuments rise to the sky. Mm. So the running is not running away from problems. It is, I have faced my problems because I looked directly into the sun. And now I'm free to go off and do all this other shit.
Yes.
Right? Pound my failures into the soil, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Later, controller of mine, Salam Lech. Turn your eye and become undone. I'm staring at the firmament from mires of regrets.
See that? I'm staring at the firmament from mires of regrets. Mm-hmm. The morning turns no pages blank. The firmament is so
above us, and a mire is kind of like a... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the lowest,
yeah,
the
good.
The lowest possible place you could be in contradistinction to the sun. You see what I'm saying? Or the firmament.
Right.
The morning turns no pages blank. That's a good line.
Explain.
In other words, everybody wants a tabula rasa.
Yeah.
But he's saying, like, just because it's a new day doesn't erase all the shit you did yesterday. All the things that you regret, like, a new day is not going to erase that.
No.
So that I think that's what he's saying. He's saying the morning turns no pages blank. The pages still have writing on them. Just because it's morning, it doesn't erase
all remains unsaid.
Yeah.
What have you done to me?
Yeah, because above he talks about, regrets. From mires of regrets. Well, what are you regretting? Well, the stuff that's on the pages. And
which is what you've done?
The morning, the things that you've done and the things that have been done to you. Mm-hmm. Right? So the morning doesn't delete that. Doesn't change that.
100%. Yeah, so I'm with you on that.
I think that's what he's saying when he was saying that.
All remains of sun. But then why does it say, what have you done to me? Is he talking to himself? Is it like...
He's talking to himself?
Yeah,
or
like
a person
maybe...
that's hurt him. Go ahead.
I like the angle of him talking to himself, like having that sort of discussion and saying like... Because I think that when we can get to the point where we can... Oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. I think that when we can get to that point where we can say, like, to ourselves, what have you done? Instead of pointing at everybody else, because there's always, you know, you can always, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about like my upbringing or this, like there's always somebody to blame. Like you can literally find somebody to blame for like everything. But when you get to that point where you ask yourself, like you recognize the reason that you've been so sick, whether it's mentally or whatever, is because you did make a decision to be in that place. And I know that like mental illness and stuff, like it comes to us without us. Like it's not like people choose mental illness, but you have mental illness. So now what are you going to do to heal that or to get out of that place? And so when he says, what have you done? I like that because it was like, I know for me, that when I remember, that's so funny. So Megan had posted something on Facebook, the one that's gonna help us with our commercials, months ago. I think it was her, basically saying like, when you have to face like what a mess you've made, and you have to acknowledge the fact that you're the reason that you were not, like the reason that you stayed so long in the throes of your mental illness is because you didn't do everything to get out of it. And I know I'm not talking about the exceptions, like the people that like they need medication, they need, you know, whatever. But like, well, no, I am talking about that because all of that is part of it. It's like you have a mental illness. Okay. Do you need the medication? Do you need therapy? Do you need to get outside more? Do you need to get a job? Do you need to, you know, there's lots of things that I think that are reasons why our mental health can be so bad. So when you get to the point where you say, okay, the reason that I'm in this position is because of decisions and choices that I'm making, what I've done, instead of blaming everybody else, then you have such a quick way out of that because you say, okay, if I'm the reason for this, then I'm the reason that can get out of this. Mm-hmm. So then you can start making adjustments to get yourself to a healthier place. So I liked that part.
You've done a lot of work on yourself in the last couple months, like really intensive.
Yeah, I think that it's been going on for like the last 6 months, but it just wasn't showing up so much because I was just really, I think when you make little like changes to like get healthier, to get better, at first those little changes are so hard to do, and they seem to make so little impact that you can easily get discouraged and say nothing's changing, especially because whatever you do, whatever your mental illness, whatever ways that you've treated people, like people are going to be affected, people are going to be hurt, people are going to be whatever. By anything that we do that's wrong is going to affect people negatively. So you still have to deal with the fallout of all of what you've done. If you've been into drugs and you've been stealing off your family, or you're whatever it is that you've been doing to hurt other people, like you got to face that. So if tomorrow you're like, you know what, I'm going to bury this, I'm going to, like what this guy's kind of talking about at the beginning, you still have to live with that. You still have to take the steps to heal relationships.
Don't get that very basic principle. And the thing is, like, a lot of people would be very willing to forgive and let go if folks would just own your shit, move on, and it's all good. I think a lot of people would be willing to do that. This song, like I said, you just see a lot of positivity in the song, but simultaneous to the positivity, there's still the "What have you done to me?"
Yeah,
and then there's the "What lies beyond the great unknown." Was really a major theme in the second half of the song.
There are places in the vast and the unknown I dare not ever see. How can I chase away all these fears of night has come the day? Keep all gates closed and lights dim in eclipse, 'cause all I want is stay and never leave the brave new me. Vanished in the morning light with no return at night. Wait, is he okay? Like, wait, did I just read that weird?
Yeah, like this to me is like this just crazy journey of self-improvement.
Yeah.
And it seems extremely realistic because he says, the brave new me vanished in the morning light with no return at night. And then he says, brave new me, afraid of the things he cannot see. So that's kind of like a self-criticism or a sarcastic sort of like cancellation of the above line, right? Like, you could say the brave new me vanished in the morning light, never to return at night means at the beginning of the song, daybreak was negative.
Right. Probably because of what happened at night.
So if daybreak is negative in the song, then this is a positive line. Because that would mean that he conquered the morning, vanished in the morning light, and then at night,
with no
that
return
bad habit didn't return, so
yeah.
he overcame it. Or you can look at it like, and this is probably where I'm looking at it, is that he changed, But then the night came, the morning came again, and he reverted back to who he was, back to old habits. And that would explain the brave new me, afraid of things he can't see. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I really like the, that's an interesting line. Intent does not matter, only consequences. That's an interesting line. I mean, I don't agree.
We actually think the opposite.
I don't agree with that. But
who said that?
It's an interesting line. Kel pointed out.
Is that in a song? Where was that?
I don't think. No, it's not in the song. I don't think.
He put
and I'm not
quotes,
even
so
sure.
I was
I'm not even
asking
sure he
where.
believes that, but it's interesting. Maybe he's talking to his lover. The morning sun brings sadness from what happened the night before. He faces a day, but still has the event of the night before to reckon with. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good exegesis.
Morning turns no blank pages. All remains unsaid.
Yeah.
What have you done to me?
So then, if you look at like going into the unknown and things like that, it may not be talking about the afterlife. It may be talking about how does life work now that this person is no longer in his life? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I'm going to stick with the number one interpretation, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a quote. A lot of times, like you were saying earlier with Homegirl, like people stay in bad relationships because they're afraid of being alone. Because the unknown is alone. Like aloneness and unknownness.
Oh, that was what it was. When you realized that you were the greatest obstacle to your own healing. That's the quote. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. That's. But yeah, like, and one of the ways, and you have to be careful because you could fall into victim blaming here, but one of the reasons people stay in really, really, really bad relationships that they should get out of is because they're afraid of the unknown. And the specific unknown that they're afraid of is, quote, being alone, not being in a relationship.
It's true.
So many friends had like, what are you doing? Like, get up. This guy is, whatever. And, they never listen to you because they just say, oh, something happens, Vin will get me out of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, buy me a ticket, get me out of here. Oh.
Wow. Vin will get me out. It's
that's just how it is. And okay, fine, I don't think you should marry that guy. He's already cheated on you. If he cheats on you, the likelihood of being physically abusive goes up exponentially. Oh, he would never do that. Then I was on assignment. I got a phone call from Shorty.
Boy, oh my God.
I had a phone call from Shorty while I was on assignment. Well, actually, it was my first assignment. My very first assignment.
Really?
I was like...
How much stress did that add?
Oh my God. I just said...
Because you couldn't do anything.
I could. Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
I literally could not do anything for her, but... I mean, I just bought her a plane ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there was something you could do.
Yeah, I was like, sweetheart, I'm sorry that happened to you, blah, 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 blah. She's like, it had just happened. She was locked up in a room. She was terrified. She was all the way in North Carolina. I was, so it's like,
That's why she was so quiet that day.
Yeah. Yeah, she was quiet that day.
I'm talking about the meeting.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's why,
You had mentioned that, but I didn't really pick up on all that. I think I was so hurt that I wasn't able to see that. What was she gonna do?
Just throwing money. I just threw money at the problem because she wouldn't look. And then so we got her out of that situation, and then she went right back into it when she hit that place because she, there was a certain template of a dude that she liked. It's a Marine, blah 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 blah, and once again, same situation. Dudes pulling guns, all types of crazy shit. So it's like, but I said, sis, can't you just be alone for a little bit? Like, just can't you stay by yourself for a little bit? And she just couldn't do it. Like, some people cannot be alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's tough. And there are dudes who, they pick up on that. They know. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say, all dudes are predators or not, but there's a certain kind of... But predators who are dudes know if certain females cannot be alone... they kind of have him over a barrel, and it's really fucked up. So, when it was interesting, that person's, I think, L. Tyler, that kind of changed the entire kind of direction of the song for me, if you're talking about relationship, because he's talking about the unknown and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Going into the unknown doesn't necessarily, and really, there is kind of a
There's
metaphor.
a little bit more here, too.
There is a kind of a metaphor between death and the ending of a relationship, especially for people who are terrified of not being in a relationship. It is like a death to a lot of people.
Oh, it is. When I broke up with my boyfriend, I felt like I was gonna throw up, and I was like, it literally felt like he had died.
With the guy who was in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt like he had died. I was like,
yeah.
I had to keep telling myself he wasn't dead, but I'm not even sure if that didn't help. Because then it's like, well, if they're not dead, then you still want to kind of be, but you know the relationship's not where you need to be going. So I just did the math, and I said, if I keep going on this relationship, I've been with this person for X amount of time. The only thing staying with this person is going to do is it's going to make both of us love each other more, and then it's going to be harder to end it. So I already knew it was not going in the right direction. So I was like, okay, you're just going to put it's not nice to do to him, and it's not smart to do for myself either. So you have to end it. But yeah, it does feel like a death.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have felt like that with Homegirl.
Which one? Renee? No.
You didn't feel like a death?
I mean, I felt horrible, but I mean, I'm the one that, you know.
Well, I'm the one that did it too.
Yeah, but I was bad for her. You were bad for him too.
I was waiting for you to say that.
But you didn't think you were
No,
bad
I
for
did
him.
not.
You thought he was bad for you.
Right.
But I was objectively bad for her.
Yeah, I was bad for him too, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of one of those things where it didn't feel like a death, but I was more kind of like looking at myself like, yo, like something's wrong with you. But I at the time, like I couldn't, the shit that I was caught up in, you know, I mean, you know how I am with my boys, man.
Yeah.
And it was just, she was just completely, you know, from a completely different world. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, you have this like selfish kind of thing where like you have this beautiful person who's, you know, whatever. And I think a lot of it was like she was so extremely good and we were so extremely bad that, you know, that's one of the things that like attracted me to her. But then it's like, yeah, bro, but you want to be the person that like corrupts this person like over time because she's going to start doing certain things to like be around you guys. And like now people start saying, yo, maybe we could pass her the, you know, whatever, and she could bring it in, and then blah blah blah. We can meet up here, yeah. And I'm start like considering this shit while I'm on the train. I'm like, whoa, wait a second, no, like, because if she gets jammed up with that shit, like that shit is on her record now. She's gotta find like what, like because so I didn't feel like I felt like it was something. It needed to be done.
Whenever you talk about it, if I was her and I knew that information, that would be so absolutely heartbreaking.
What?
Well, that's a really...
What is heartbreaking?
That's a really big act of love, I think. You still love the person, and you want to be with the person, but at the same time, you know that you have a deleterious effect on them.
I love my boys more than I loved her. I mean, that's really what it came down to. Because I could have easily said, all right, guys, I'm out of here. And, you know, I didn't. And then the next girl, that's what I did. I married the next girl. You know what I'm saying? So... Figure that one out.
I cannot.
But, well, it kind of worked out for you.
I mean, it did, yeah, but, I mean...
kind of worked out for you.
Weird.
Yeah, so...
Hey, you know what? Well...
no, go ahead. It's all good.
Well, it just was... We talked about relationships, and then you talked about the people, like, that keep going back into the same type... Like, they have a type of person that they want to be with. Well, I just thought it was interesting when you said that, because I thought to myself, I don't have a specific type of person. Every person I've ever... like been in a relationship with, they're all different, and you're like that too.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, because you're nothing like her.
Yeah, and you're nothing like anybody I've ever been with either.
Yeah. I could never fight with her. You know what I'm saying? She'd never fight. She was so okay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like there was
that's interesting. You like fight
that's
though.
What I'm saying. Like I like that kind of woman. And then the next one was too much. You know what I'm saying? You're like just right. The porridge is just right.
And it was just right. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. You were like, she's too nice. Let me go for some conflict.
Shout out to homegirl. She's probably modeling now. She's fine. She don't have to worry about me. She's good. She's good.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but okay.
Huh?
I wouldn't say that, given what that other person...
You wouldn't say what?
I wouldn't say that...
You saw her? She could be...
Oh, no. I would definitely say she could be doing modeling. I just wouldn't say that she's completely fine and wouldn't want to whatever, because... If that other person sent you that...
I think you're reading yourself into...
Well, why did that other person send you that? Unless she knew something.
It was Shaitan. It's just Shaitan.
It was Shaitan for sure.
For sure. It did. It fucked me up.
It did. It did. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know, It was funny because when you saw the picture, you were like, "Holy shit!" Blah blah blah. I didn't, because I was used to her, so I didn't really think it was like that big of a deal. Like she was that big of a deal. I saw her every day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Now look at like she decent. I mean, she ain't. You know. You got to admit. Anyway, we'll talk about that offline. What do you get the song?
Oh, I really liked it. A 10. This one's a 10 and I'm listening to it again.
9.2. I don't know about a 9.2. 9.6 for me. I really like this song. And I'm impressed that this guy is from Deutschland, but he was able to manipulate the English language so well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think like English speakers realize, or single language speakers realize how amazing that is.
No. You know how I know we don't? Is because we get people that only speak one language get really annoyed with somebody that speaks two languages but doesn't speak our language well enough. That shows that we don't get it.
Correct. Seduct.
Because really,
Seduct.
you're the unintelligent one. You're the idiot in this situation because you only know one language. If you knew more, like
Correct.
you guys could meet on the same ground. But
Correct.
I mean,
that's exactly right.
I only speak one language unless you want to count Pig Latin.
I can say, "Don't kill me, brother. I'm a fellow Muslim just like you."
Oh.
I can say that.
Well, I can say Katila.
Huh?
How are you?
How are you? Shout out to Kelladra. Shout out to Silver Kyrie. Shout out to Kai. Kai, I called you yesterday. I got a lot of shit going on, bro. But we'll definitely
Stream you
work it
later,
out.
fam. Yeah.
And Negative Vibe says English and German, so that already shows that he's more intelligent than the vast majority of us.
I realize that there's like a lot of people from our village that speak both languages,
Oh,
like two
100%.
languages, because we'll get on a call and I was like, oh, an accent. Again, everybody has accents. I'm like,
Everybody's European. You know why? It's because we remember we used to do all them late night live
That's
streams
probably-
and shit?
yeah.
So all the time zones and
Yeah.
all the Europeans are like, well, what's this African fella
what
doing?
are these interracials up to?
What are these stupid Americans up to? We love you, beautiful people.
we
Is there a
do.
stream tomorrow?
We do. We have a Sin and Glorious.
Sitting Glorious.
Oh,
Sitting
it looks like
Glorious
Epic
return.
Underground will be on as well.
Epic Underground. Oh, is that another one of those by Alliance streams?
Yeah, look at
Yes.
that. Judas Priest,
That
Black
Judas Priest,
Sabbath,
Black
Body
Sabbath,
Count,
Body Count, Skull Fist.
Skill Fist.
Skill Fist. Skull Fist. We got a
Yeah.
lot of shit coming tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I mean, sorry, what time? Sitting Glory, what
Well,
time?
I don't know yet. They're contacting Revo to see what time works for everybody.
Revo.
And they're gonna get back to me.
Gotcha. Okay. We have another one tomorrow,
I'm assuming
guys.
it's gonna be around the same time, around 9 o'clock, but I don't know for sure. So
We are out of here. Much love to all you beautiful people.
we'll see you tomorrow.
This has been fun. Remember, guys, 8 works for Revo.
Oh,
okay.
so we're good.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Body Count, and Skull Fist, be here or be freaking square.
I was trying to make a square, but it's kind of
We should play Crusader Kings 3 so you can kick my pagan ass.
my pagan ass. We might, but
All
for
right.
now,
Villagers, especially American villagers.
Avita Zane.
Avita Zane. Listen.
Isn't that German?
Yeah.
No, Avita Zane?
think
I
it's
thought it
Russian.
was.
Is it Russian or German? I'm
No,
not
I
sure.
thought it was
Avita
German
Zane.
because I thought it was on Sound of Music and those people were German.
This country. Guys, make sure you're outside, you're shopping at Walmart, get in, get out. Please be aware of your surroundings. There's crazy people out there with guns. We're not going to walk in fear because the scripture says there's no fear in love, and perfect love casts out all fear. So we're going to walk in love, but we're also going to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. And that rhymes, and I didn't do that on purpose, but you heard it. It is what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh
Much
yeah,
love
look.
to-
Oh wait, Avita's what?
Auf
It's
Wiedersehen.
German. Yes, I was right.
Avita Zane.
Yeah, Avita Zane. Until
Auf-
we meet again.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye for the present.
Buenas noches. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And the sky is blue.
And the sky is blue.